The legal significance of birth certificates and sovereign identity. 1. Birth certificates as collateral instruments. Following the 1933 bankruptcy of the United States, states began issuing serialized birth certificates as instruments to pledge their citizenry as collateral for municipal bonds and national debt. Each individual's future labor and productivity underpins the full faith and credit of the nation. This commodification reduced individuals to mere human resources, evidenced by their designation within governmental and corporate human resource departments. 2. Historical origins of governmental collateralization. The process of assigning monetary value to citizens dates to 1862, when President Lincoln introduced bond incentives for states emancipating enslaved persons. By bankrupting private owners and indebting the citizenry, banks accumulated massive property holdings. Birth certificates were forwarded from state authorities to federal agencies and then internationally, securing governmental debt with the lives and labor of the populace. 3. Birth certificates and international monetary collateral. Birth certificates serve as certificates in equity, maturing upon the individual's 18th birthday and representing performance units on international debt. Governments utilize these documents as collateral for securing international loans, without the informed consent of the individuals involved, thereby creating unconscionable third-party contracts that violate foundational principles of equity and voluntary agreement. 4. The Shepard-Towner Act and the creation of federal children. The 1921 Shepard-Towner Maternity Act instituted federal birth registration under the guise of maternal and infant health. In reality, it established federal claims of ownership under the doctrine of parens patriae. As a result, American children became federal children, subjected to comprehensive state oversight and lifelong licensing requirements that eroded natural sovereignty. 5. The transition from family records to state registrations. Prior to 1921, family Bibles recorded births, marriages, and deaths, constituting legally recognized documentation. Post-1921, states assumed control over birth registrations, falsely implying a federal mandate, and issued certificates that transformed natural persons into assets of the bankrupt United States, evidenced by the assignment of Social Security numbers at birth. 6. The full faith and credit doctrine and state claims on children. Governors, under Roosevelt's 1933 bankruptcy protocols, pledged the full faith and credit of their states, including citizens, as collateral. States assert interests in every child born within their jurisdiction, treating children as assets whose future labor can secure further debt obligations. Parental rights are subordinate to state claims under the best interest of the child doctrine. 7. Human resources and the dehumanization of citizens. Today, individuals are classified as human resources, commodities subject to government tracking and regulation. The push for national identification systems further evidences the government's presumption of ownership over its citizenry, exploiting legal ignorance to impose unlawful taxation and compulsory identification schemes that contravene constitutional limitations on federal power. 8. Birth certificates as instruments of theft and control. Birth certificates symbolize the theft of an individual's divine sovereignty, substituting state ownership for inherent natural rights. Licensing schemes further affirm governmental claims over liberty and property, contrary to scriptural affirmations of individual freedom granted by divine authority, not by paper instruments or secular governments. 9. Legal distinctions between certificates and certified copies. There is a critical distinction between a state-issued birth certificate and a certified copy of live birth. The latter, historically affirmed by religious institutions, involved attestation under oath before God. The former is a government-issued security instrument evidencing legal privileges, not natural rights, and designed to conform to federal vital statistics regulations. 10. Historical definitions and modern reinterpretations. Earlier definitions of certificate emphasized attestation of truth before God, while modern definitions view certificates merely as government-issued documents evidencing ownership or debt. This transformation reflects the broader shift from divine to secular authority, substituting administrative convenience for sacred affirmation of individual existence and rights.